John Shinn's with us now on the Little Caesars Hot and Ready Hotline on 107.7 The Franchise. Would you be in favor of the NFL going from spot foul on pass interference to strictly 15-yarder like in college?
Yeah, I'd be in favor of that.
I think that'd be this is what Todd and I just did this experiment. Maybe you've got one. Is there a more punitive – I give you all of sports. Is there a more punitive foul in all of sports than the spot foul pass interference?
Maybe a penalty kick in soccer, but that'd be about it. I mean, I can't think of anything.
Yep. So about the Big 12 here, John. So Baylor wins in Ames last night. So what do we know? Conference champ. We know nothing, right? Do you know anything? Give me the surefire end of season trophy that is spoken for.
None of them. Absolutely. It's turned into like every individual award in the Big 12. It's turned into the Heisman Trophy. The last 3 games is all that really matters. None of it is settled. All conference isn't settled. Who's going to win the league isn't settled. I mean, they're coach of the year, player of the year, you name it.
That's amazing. Have you ever known a season like this?
No. I mean, usually you've at least had 2 teams that have clearly separated themselves at this point. I mean, you know, it's virtually a guarantee Kansas is going to have a pretty good shot to win it at this point of the year, and you know they still have the 1-game lead. But 4 teams tied for second with 3 games to go. I've never seen that.
Do you think that you mentioned? Well, let me ask you this first. When do you guys vote on Player of the Year, Coach of the Year? Is that after the regular season? Is that with a game left?
It is. Let's see. You turn it in. The regular season finales are all on Saturday night. You got to have it in Sunday by 6.
Okay, so would it be safe to say that your Coach of the Year, your Player of the Year, are probably going to come from the team that wins the league?
Not necessarily. I was thinking about this the other night. Like, Scotty Drew's the guy you really have to think about for that. But right now, Baylor's in 5th place. And, I mean, if they finish 5th, are you really going to vote for him? Probably not. But, you know, there's probably not going to be much distance between 1st place and 5th. You just never – it's kind of like if Kansas goes – I don't really know how that stuff's all going to shake down. But it's usually that, like, a Coach of the Year, it's the team that exceeded the expectations the most. But – these last 3 games are really going to decide who has and hasn't exceeded expectations. So, I don't really know.
Would you give it to if I gave you the choice? If you were to vote right now, would you put for Coach of the Year? John Shinn with us, by the way, on 107.7 The Franchise. Would you put Scott Drew ahead of Bob Huggins?
No, probably not. Right now, I give it to Huggins because I still think Baylor's a lot more talented than West Virginia, and what Huggins has done after last year, and that kind of reinvented that whole team, and they're 10-5 and have some quality non-conference wins. Who
would you give it to?
Right now, I'd probably give it to Huggins. Just if I had to vote today, but there's still 3 more games.
Oh yeah, it could change in a minute. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. John Shinn with us. Why was this? I saw you write about it. I want you to expound about it a little bit. Expound on it, I guess would be the right terminology. Why is this such a good time for the Sooners to have their off week?
Because you're worn down to a nub kind of from the grind of the last 12 or so weeks. Woodard's banged up, although I think that hip pointer he suffered at Texas Tech, he's pretty well over that. But Ryan Spangler's banged up. He's got a bad right elbow. Everybody on that team could just – Frank Booker, kind of was held out of practice the first couple of days because of a back injury he's been dealing with all season. They just finally got a week to finally rest up, and I don't – OU shouldn't have any problem against TCU on Saturday, but then you look at the Monday and the Saturday after that, their whole regular season NCAA tournament, Big 12 tournament, still could win a Big 12 title. All comes down to those last 3 games, and particularly those last 2. if you can get an extra day or two to rest and prepare, that's a big deal at this point in the year.
What do you make of Spangler? I mean, something's up there. Is it just the elbow? What's up with him?
I think it is. He banged up that elbow against Texas, and in that Tech game, he wasn't really a factor on either end of the floor. And he can get in these deals where he is so passive offensively that it hurts OU. And I just think he's another guy that kind of, if you can get him to rest up some and then get in a practice gym, that really helps him kind of get refocused on what he has to do. And OU looks like a much different team when he's never going to be a guy that's going to, take 15 shots, but when he understands, when you get the ball in the post instead of kicking out for a three, go ahead and take your layup, you're in a lot better shape.
John Shinn with us here on 107.7 The Franchise. John, Oklahoma last year, we saw a lot of the fan base that had been gone for a while come back with the up-tempo basketball they played, the exciting ball, I think exceeding expectations last season. This season, again, they're right there at the top of the Big 12. They're ranked nationally. As far as fan interest, where is OU basketball right now, and where do you think it should be?
It's not where it should be. They have not filled up that arena one time this year. I mean, that Texas game.
Will they against Kansas?
Well, yeah, because there'll be 3,000 Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas will buy all the seats.
Yeah, I mean that one will be it. Oklahoma State wasn't full. I don't know. I'm kind of through writing about it. I'm sick of. I'll sit there 2 minutes before a game. I'll get these questions on Twitter. What's the crowd like? And I'll say, there's a ton of empty seats, and then people complain about it, but they do it from home. So I mean that just it never ceases to amaze me how OU fans who have tickets to those basketball games can wake up every day and figure out a reason why they don't need to go to a game that they already have a ticket for. So I don't know how you cure that. I think one deal, God knows OU has tried 1,000 different things, but they've sold the tickets. They just can't get people to use them.
Is there any way they could change the arena up, maybe get students and fans closer? Or, is there anything in the works like that you think maybe they could get more interest?
This problem is far more deep-rooted than that.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm thinking of something that would make the atmosphere better and make people want to come back more.
The atmosphere, if they want to make the atmosphere better, you dole out season ticket seating based on loyalty, not what they're willing to pay. A big problem is you've got all those tickets between the benches that have gone to football season ticket holders that bought basketball season tickets to increase their points deal for football, but never come. And a lot of them aren't even the individual people; they're the companies. But like the student stuff, they've gone for years where they couldn't fill up that student section. It's one of the smallest student sections in the Big 12. But outside of maybe 3 or 4 games this year, those are the only time that's been full up. So I mean, it's not like this problem is with just this select group of donors or this economic class. It's everything involved with OU basketball. It's just hard to get people to treat those games as events that they don't want to miss.
I am just seeing news come across here, and I don't know if you have anything that comes immediately to mind. I don't really know if I even do. John Shinn with us on 107.7 The Franchise. But this comes from Robert Smith, the former Viking who now works for ESPN Television. He tweets out the following 6 minutes ago: just heard Adrian Peterson decision has been overturned by Judge Doty. Big win for NFLPA, #Vikings. Huh. So what's that mean? Does he get so he's going to get all that money? Basically what's going to happen. He's going to get paid.
Mm-hmm. And
does that mean he has zero he's not suspended anymore? Is that what that means?
He's got. I guess was he suspended or was he on that?
Or on that list? Yeah, on that. He's off the commissioner's list. Is that right?
I don't know if he's off the commissioner's list yet or not. Yeah. But if you're on that commissioner's list, they still have to pay you.
Right. That's true. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, there's going to have to be I'm going to need more info. But anyway, There's Adrian Peterson just jumping right back into the news. He's kind of been hanging around the outer circle there, the inner circle. He's been kind of tiptoeing his way back in, and I think he might have just jumped right back in there. All right, John, good talking to you, buddy.
Geez, now we're gonna have to get the Law and Order or the what was it that we had for
People's Court.
That's right. We have to bring Wapner back.
Get the bongos. See you later, John.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, man. John Shinn on the Little Caesars Hot and Ready Hotline.